you are such a bright light, and the power that you carry is that when your light is dark, other people see it, other people feel it, like other people are affected by your light being slightly dimmed.
The moment that you make the decision to be a woman of character, the moment that you decide I am going to see the world positively, is the moment that the warfare even intensifies.
Absolutely. And it's the deep work, the deep selfless work that actually makes a woman great.
As a woman, sometimes you don't need to push through the pain. You just need to rest and recover.
Hello and welcome to the Two My Sisters podcast. I'm Courtney.
And I'm Renee, and we are your online sisters and hosts of the Two My Sisters podcast.
We are all about promoting the wellness, growth and development of a community of sisters around the world.
And in today's episode, we're going to be reflecting on the glowing and growing journey so far. That is right. We are 6 months into the year. It's July 2024. It is halfway through the year. We're at the halfway mark, and we are going to be reflecting on our lessons learned, as well as thinking about how we are going to set ourselves up and the girlies up for a smashing end to 2024.
We love to see it.
It's giving. We're getting older. We're getting, I think, wiser. I think wiser. So. I would hope that we're getting wiser. And it's just insane to think that we're actually in July.
It is. The year is going very, very quickly. I don't know where it's going to, but it definitely makes you realize you have to make the most of every single day, because the days come and go quick.
Real quick. So whether you are far ahead of your goals, whether you feel like you're a bit behind, maybe you're bang on track, this is the episode for you. And we are going to be hopefully dropping something that is of use and valuable to you in this perilous time that we are in. Exciting stuff. But before we get into that, do we have any housekeeping announcements?
Yes, we do, because in the main episode we haven't said that we were selected to be a part of the HSBC UK Black Business Show Top 25 Black Entrepreneurs to Watch list. Hello. You're looking at certified entrepreneurs. Money babes, money bags. No, real rap though.
Not the money babes and money bags.
Certified course coming soon.
There we go.
JK, just kidding. So we were nominated, selected, nominated and selected, and like recognized as just, ones to watch in the business space. And it really is an honor. Like, thank you to UK Black Business Show, Raf and the team, as well as HSBC.
Honestly,
big bank things. If you want to dash somebody some money,
if you want to open up your door,
we're on the list.
We are there.
But also shout out to our fellow nominees, and including Haley, our friend Haley. You guys know Haley Melenda. Haley Melenda record, actually, Mrs. to y'all.
Mrs. Don't get too comfortable. Don't get too familiar.
She was nominated on the list as well, and it's nice to be on such an amazing, prestigious list with our sis, man, and just amazing entrepreneurs. Kenny was on the list.
We told you that we know people that are of stature.
Kenny also recently received an MBE. So
it's giving community, it's giving network.
Everybody's thriving.
It's giving
everybody's thriving.
The girls and boys are doing their bit for the society.
Not our housekeeping announcements being us bigging up our friends.
I know, but I feel like that's just so on brand. Like, hello, we talk about community. It makes sense for us to be celebrating our community.
Absolutely. But everyone's doing bits, everyone's grinding. And we were talking about this in TMS Hot Takes, which is our midweek episode. If you don't chime into that, you definitely should. Yes, YouTube girlies, it is audio only now, which is why you haven't seen it for a while. But we were just talking about how things like this are pretty much just leverage for more impact, like at the end of the day, being recognized for something like this only means that not only are we doing well, we're also positioned to do better. So we really do appreciate all of you guys' support, and hopefully something good will come out of this. And as you watch us, even our enemies, as you're watching us, as we've been put on the watch list, we are going to thrive. We are going to thrive. No, because you know how this whole monitoring experience, we've actually been put on a watch list.
It's quite
people are watching, good and bad, which is great.
This is true. Those of you that have evil in your heart, because evil in your heart really exists.
It does.
I was listening to a sermon recently that was talking about the evil of the human heart, like the wickedness that's actually in the human heart, and how not everybody that follows you is somebody that is actually a fan.
Wants to see you thrive.
So it's like some people are actually monitoring spirits. And whilst we are not afraid of monitoring spirits, we know that you're there.
And awareness is key. So all the best to everybody. Especially our enemies, who I hope will choke on our success.
That was so Guardian. All the best to you.
No, jokes. I hope that we all get to benefit from the sisterhood.
Amen to
but
that.
Yeah, that's a big housekeeping announcement. And another one is support the Bright Future Academy. We are hurtling towards September, as the intro Renee mentioned. Like, the year is coming quickly, which means the new academic term is starting quickly, which means these kids need to go to school. Which means we need to complete this school. So we have all done such an amazing job so far, and right now it's just cosmetic works, getting the toilet finished, getting things painted and stuff like that. But the school is on track to open in September, and we just kindly ask for more generous donations. We've raised well over £10,000 towards this project, and it is such a blessing to see. So yeah, if you do want to continue to give, even if it's anything small, even if it's pennies, if you could transfer it, then do. Anything is like welcome and appreciated. And the kids are excited, man. The kids are excited. Fredita has been sending updates, and it just looks amazing. So yeah, Bright Future Academy, the link to donate is down below, and yeah, hopefully we'll be able to come with some updates really, really soon as well, and a little show and tell.
If you want the kids to have a bright future at the Bright Future Academy, then how about you open up your purse and support a great social impact mission that we are part of. Facts. And thank you so much to everyone that has donated so far. It is incredible to see just how much we've been able to achieve with your support. Yeah. Let it be known that community-powered social impact is the future. Absolutely. And we are so grateful for your love and support. So hats off to you, sisters. Well done. Oh my gosh, remember back in the day when teachers would be like, give yourself a pat on the back. We need to bring that back, in society.
Gold stars all around. Yeah, we love to see it. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it on the notifications list.
I think that is it for the housekeeping. And so next week, myself and Courtney will actually be on the panel. If you are in London, aka the United Kingdom,
we are speaking.
We are speaking not once but twice, not yet thrice but twice. So we will be at the Translate Cultures Direct to Culture Black British Festival. It is essentially a festival where we are celebrating the best of Black British businesses and creatives. We've got some really cool people that are also on the lineup. Shout out to, I think Jamilia's going to be there from Treasure Tress. We've also got Amma from Plant Made. We've got some incredible male and female.
I think the Ava Estelle guys are going to be there. We worked with them before. Our New York pop-up, that was Ava Estelle.
There you go. So if you are in London not even next week, it'll be this week. By the time you're listening to this, the 18th and the 19th of July, tickets are available in our Instagram bio. We've also posted it pretty much everywhere on social media. There's literally few tickets. When I say few, I mean few. We're going to be talking about community building and how we've been able to build this incredible community that is TMS. But we'll also be hosting a really, really great conversation on motherhood.
Yes. And just talking about the progression of womanhood, it's very much giving our last live show when we're talking about womanhood through the eras and the stages, and literally talking about how motherhood can affect your business journey and the things that women consider. And we are not mothers yet, but it will be great to facilitate that conversation so that we can learn, and hopefully you can learn as well. So come support your girls. If you are a black business owner, if you are a business owner, but also if you are enthusiastic about supporting black businesses, you should definitely come. If you want to be in the room with black businesses that are thriving, like Plant Made, Ava Estelle, these are 8-figure companies, like London born and bred black people.
You gotta be there.
8-figure companies, but also being in the room with investors and people who can help you figure out how to navigate this journey, as well as find some new companies that you can actually support who make sick and dope products for black people and non-black people. So come through, like you said, 18th to 19th of July. But without further ado, there is a sister in need. So let's get into the ding dilemma.
Hey TMS.
Hey sweetheart.
Thank you so much for this wonderful podcast.
You are more than welcome.
Now, this is my dilemma. I have been friends with a certain girl for 4 years now. Okay. On her birthday, I posted a photo of her and I wishing her a happy birthday with a cute caption.
This is already going downhill quickly. Yes.
It's always the birthday that brings up some kind of issues. So keep in mind, I've posted this photo twice before and she has never complained about anything. 3 days later, she celebrated her birthday and I posted 2 additional photos from that night of her and I. The next day, I received a message from her asking me if I deliberately post photos of her not looking her best.
Oh dear.
And that she's noticed it's a pattern.
Hey.
I responded, why would I do that to you or anyone else? She replied, because there's evidence and others have noticed.
Oh.
I responded, that's not my character. We haven't spoken since my last response. Please keep in mind, in previous years, this person has posted photos of me on my birthday. I probably didn't look my best in, but I've never thought she's done such deliberately. I found the message to be silly and insulting for her to think I'll purposely post photos of her not looking her best. What upsets me more is throughout our friendship, I've praised this person's beauty to her and everyone else. I consider her a sister. Moreover, I felt the way she addressed the situation was a low blow, especially since we consider ourselves sisters. She could have called me or at least given me the benefit of the doubt. Rather, the message was accusatory, cutthroat, and to the point. I believe she already believed what the others said, so there was no need to defend myself. Various times her friends have posted pictures of her I probably didn't think she looked her best in. However, I would never think her friends were doing that on purpose. At this point, I'm a little confused about our friendship, and this situation has left a sour taste in my mouth. I believe she's projecting some sort of insecurity. Maybe she felt I looked nicer in the photo, but at the end of the day, she should know it's not my character to do such. Please help. Where should I go from here? P.S. This friend is a beautiful black woman, and I am a lighter complexion black woman. Throughout our years of friendship, I've noticed her negative views on lighter skinned women. She would say they are only beautiful because they are light skinned, or men only like them because they are light skinned, and become really angry about women who bleach their skin, for context.
Interesting. You see, I was with you. Then I got thrown off by that last paragraph, but let us dissect. So, you know what? I feel like this is pretty techie because there could be insecurities mixed, people's opinions and what people have been whispering into her ears mixed. There's a lot going on. I think if somebody maybe already has some kind of insecurity about how they look and can be quite scrutinous. Can be quite scrutinous about the way that they look. It may be not a sign of you doing anything wrong, but genuinely just an amplification of their insecurities. Maybe she's overthinking it, looking into it too much. And I think if you have other friends who are in her ear talking about, oh, you don't look good in these pictures, or why would she post that picture of you? Then this may not be a you problem. I would first assess, what are the pictures you're posting of her? Would you be happy if somebody posted it of you, right? Is she like in not a compromising situation, but you know how when it's your birthday and your friends post pictures, it's the slips, it's the let's go down memory lanes. So I would genuinely ask myself, is this a nice picture of her? Like, let's actually be honest. As much as I may think it's nice, maybe it's of them laughing, whatever. I may think it's nice. Maybe they don't like themselves pictured or captured in that way. And so I think it's also worth, just as you've already expressed, I'm not doing this from a malicious point of view, but also looking at what pictures is she happy posting. If she already has an Instagram or, you know, a place where she posts her pictures, just use pictures she has posted of herself. Because then she's happy with those pictures. Positive publicity. Do you get what I mean? Don't now go and go deep. Don't go deep into your photo gallery, picking pictures from first week of freshers. And do you get what I mean? No, don't bring anything from the woodworks. You know this friend now. She may be very particular. And I know some people, it's not even insecurity. They're just very particular about how they present. They may be very, like I said, scrutinous of how they present. And so just select pictures which she is happy with and be like, girl, I just want to celebrate you on your birthday. Send me the pictures that you approve of so that we never have this issue again. Because I never want you to feel like I'm showing you in a bad light. That's all I would say. Now, I think the last paragraph for me, the reason why that kind of is, whilst that may be something you've read into. I think sometimes, especially because you made this available as context, I think sometimes the way we frame things can be very, she just has an insecurity complex or an inferiority complex. And that's why she's coming at me like this, because I'm this, not to say this is your way of thinking, but like I'm this pretty light-skinned babe and she's just jealous of me. Do you get what I mean? I don't think you should, if there is any inkling of that in your spirit, I would definitely say deal with that, because it can be quite insensitive but also reductive of the argument. There may be a lot of deeper things going on here, and it's not to say your friend might not have or does not have that kind of way of thinking, that mindset, but I would give her the benefit of the doubt as much as you want to also have the benefit of the doubt. I think that these kind of situations can reveal a deeper issue, which is if your friend does see you as competition, or if you do think, oh, my friend has an inferiority complex and all of that, you may want to address that. Like, babe, how do you feel about the way you look? Like, I hear you make these comments here and there. Like, I just want to understand, like, where's your head at? Do you feel beautiful? Like, obviously you may word it differently and approach it differently in a really sensitive and comfortable way. But I do think it's worth having a conversation with your friend about how she feels about the way that she looks, how she feels about the way that she presents. And as much as you have reassured her, I think it's not just about your external validation. It's about seeing where her self-esteem is right now and just being a listening ear to that. And then worst comes to worst, just don't post her again, like, or just post pictures that she's posted of herself. These kind of wahalas in friendship groups or female friendship groups, you don't need it.
It's a lot.
You don't need it.
It's all a
you don't
lot.
need it. And I get the whole wanting her to call you and address this in a better way and less accusatory tone. It may be worth giving her a call and be like, hey, I kind of didn't appreciate the way that you approached this. Like, this is never how I would have wanted to make you feel. What would you prefer that I do next time on your birthday? And let her give you the guidance and follow that playbook. What do you think, Renee?
I think you answered that perfectly, CDB. I can't lie to you. And also, apologies, guys, if I sound a little bit nasally. I am currently...
You don't.
Praise God.
You actually don't.
Really?
No.
Okay.
Renee's sick, guys.
Sorry, guys. Currently
trying.
But I think you answered that perfectly, hit the nail on the head. Because I read the initial dilemma and I was like, oh, this is unfortunate. And then I read the context and I was like, about it. Without the context. And you know what? Look, I think sometimes it can be easier to paint our friends as the bad guys because of one interaction or maybe a couple of interactions. And oftentimes our brain will kind of reach towards some of the more negative things or some of the things that they may do as a means to kind of explain why they're behaving that way. But I think, like you said, it's actually important for you to give your friend an opportunity to explain herself, to kind of share her position a little bit more, especially because it seems like this is almost an outburst that has come as a result of things building up for her that she hasn't addressed. So I think on her front, it's pretty bad that she hasn't addressed this with you. But on your front, I would hesitate before jumping to the conclusion of you're just insecure. Yeah. You have a complex about your skin color. You feel this particular way about me because I am, like you said, not to say that this is what you're thinking, but, you know, it's not helpful for you to read too much into the situation without giving your friend the opportunity to back her set and actually share why she's feeling the way that she feels, or even articulate what she's feeling, because there is that context. But then also hearing the dilemma, you also mentioned that she said other people have noticed it too. That's also another, that's also another area or piece of information that might be important to bring up. Like, who are the others? Why are they chatting crap? You know what I'm saying? Or like, how are they feeding into the way that you are perceiving this situation in our friendship? I think that's actually probably far more important than trying to ascribe what you think is the reason for her coming at you like this. I think it is very much worth have a conversation with your friend. I think also telling her, like, sis, I love you, but this felt like an affront to my character and I really, really care about you and I'd never intentionally do that. And moving forward, if this is genuinely something that, you know, you've noticed and it makes you feel uncomfortable, then give me the guidance as to what works. I think we are far too grown and listen, it is 2024. We used to do the whole going back into memory lane and picking all these random photos that we thought looked cute and all that kind of stuff. Baby, it's 2024. Facts. Just there's too many Instagram photos. There's too many photos that your friend will have posted of herself that she probably likes. If in doubt, just go for that picture and say, babe, love you, happy birthday, ha ha ha, God bless you, all them things there. Just keep it. Do you know what I'm saying? Just Keep it as respectful as possible,
possible,
as easy, as simple as possible. Because you post a picture that they've posted already, she can't come and say, "Oh, you picked an ugly photo
You
that you
posted
posted."
You posted it, honey?
That you posted. So don't come back being left
Facts.
because you gotta address someone with you first.
Facts.
Or even when it's her birthday, if she would prefer for her to submit a photo to
Literally.
you. Because listen, sometimes the girlies be like,
it.
I'm going to have a birthday photo shoot. This is the photo that I have verified that you may use.
Yeah.
I would prefer if you did that. Thank you.
Yeah.
God bless you. You know what I'm saying?
Or this is the photo that I like of me with you.
There you go.
This is the nicest picture we have together. Use this one for eternity.
This is it.
This is it.
This is it. And also, whilst it, listen, sometimes we also do things unconsciously. So I like what you were saying. You might want to address the fact that, you know, maybe those photos aren't the cutest. Because sometimes, listen, trust me. Trust me. There have been some friends, I love my friends to death, but sometimes I see photos of us together. I said, wow.
What is this?
Wow.
I look like a troll.
Listen, I look like a before and after, but you've posted the before. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I look like an unfinished picture.
You know what
Yeah,
I
I posted
mean?
this.
Talking about candids. This is the internet, baby. I need to post.
Listen, or you know, like when your like boyfriend or significant other takes photos of you and they're like, "Oh, babe, I love you so much. You look so beautiful," and you're there, and your face is like. Your face
Please
is
don't capture my natural beauty.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Don't capture my
your
natural
neck
beauty.
is twisted. You're there. Your
Your
hands are
belly
even
is
up.
out.
Bro.
Like your whole teeth are there out of your mouth.
Do you know what I'm saying? Cute Bruno Mars, girl, you're amazing.
Shut up.
Just the way you. Huh?
Not on the internet.
On the internet, like capture
Not on
me
the
as a baddie.
Those are photos you keep in your gallery.
Listen.
Sweetie. They don't make it to the public.
And it's like, and the caption will even be something like, "People don't see what I see."
When I see you,
When I see you, this is what I see. I said, "Baby, what you see?"
I look like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Talking about captured in my element.
Bro, hashtag natural beauty, hashtag candid. It's a candid for a reason.
Facts, looking like a fossil.
So
I don't need it.
fossils crazy because fossils be okay. Serious, like it may be worth, even though it's not your character, you're not intentionally doing it. To her, maybe you're just capturing some photos where she's like, "Yo,"
especially if her friends have said
babe.
it too.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know what? Also giving them the benefit of the doubt, just have a conversation because even sometimes your other friends, they'll look at the photo and be like,
She looks ugly.
like, babe, this is you turning like sweet 25, 25, or like 20 what?
Renee, you're so funny.
20 what? 20 who is that? But sis, in all seriousness,
yeah.
listen, these things can cause rife, but listen,
Exactly.
it sounds like when you say you consider yourself sisters, this is not the way that you guys are gonna go out. It can't be. Like I could never imagine me and
Over a
Courtney can't go
picture.
out. Yeah. We can't go out like that. We'd have to sit down and talk and be like, "Babe, I love you, but this picture, my teeth, or vice versa."
Post
Do you
this
know what I'm
picture
saying?
again.
Like, love you dearly, but my teeth, they're clambering over the bottom. Like,
It's
you know,
defamation of
it's
character.
too much. It's too much. Especially if you have fine men on your Instagram page.
This is it.
Ah.
Some people are very particular about. She may be trying to shoot her shot at somebody. You've got her posted her looking like a walrus. She doesn't need that kind of press.
Oh my god, we might have to post this dilemma because as you can see, we are very unserious. And people may be because you know what? Some people may be very, very serious about this.
Yeah.
But no, genuinely, sis, have a conversation with your
Absolutely.
friend and also check your heart and see if there's anything there. Because listen, this is where you give the enemy an inch and it will take a mile. So if you use this as context, just no context, no expectations, assume the best of intentions rather than assume the
It's okay.
that was the enemy. He said, "You want to speak on me? I'm just going to take your lips."
This episode is so funny that I'm just going to take your lips.
take your lips. Just squeeze them out.
Take your stupid voice.
How dare you talk about
Oh, what a mess. Since you want to talk so much.
Since you want to tell them I'm around. Anyways, yeah, don't allow your internal, that context or whatever, especially if it's negative. Yeah, don't give the enemy any opportunity, any room to hijack what is a sisterhood.
Facts.
It's gonna have to be a bigger issue for you guys to be going your separate ways. I'm sorry. So yeah, call your sister, tell her, babes, we need to talk. Let's talk it all out properly. And also when there's a bit of distance and time, obviously around your birthday, there's already heightened emotions. You're reflecting on life, all of that kind of good stuff. But we are sending lots of love to you both. We hope that you guys will be able to mend this relationship, and please send us an update.
Yeah, we hope you make it through, man. These things aren't easy. But if it's causing a rift, this ain't a hill to die on.
It's not the hill to die on, honestly, genuinely. And sisters, if you are listening into this episode, this dilemma, please, we'll post this one on social media so you can also give us your tuppence.
Yeah.
What should a sis do? Has your friend ever posted a dubious photo of you online? How did you handle it? And maybe you were on the opposite side where you've accidentally posted your friend and they were not looking their cutest. Like, girls, how do we overcome? Drop it like it's hot in the comments below, or come over to our social media, Instagram. The curlies are loving the dilemmas over there.
They are chiming in.
Whoa, the votes be voting. The votes be voting. So come and cast your vote. What should a sis do?
Facts. Wow.
But moving on into the meat and bones of today's conversation, we are talking about the glowing and growing journey.
We are.
Obviously, that is the tagline of this sisterhood, this community, the women that are tuning into To My Sisters. If you are new here, we glow and we grow.
Thank you.
We're not just here to glow, we're also here to grow. So if you come here, you can't stay as you were. You got to change.
Evolution.
Listen, people be like, come as you are, but don't stay as you are.
Stay as you
Hallelujah.
Are,
and now that we are in July, we are also on this tip of self-awareness, reflecting, thinking about how can we make sure that we have set ourselves up for the next 6 months of the year.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be good for us to reflect on how have we been finding the year so far?
Yeah.
What have we learned about ourselves as women? And what are we looking forward to / how are we going to position ourselves correctly, properly as women to take the next 6 months of the year?
Love it.
And I think we are, classic mind, body, soul, maybe even relationships. Yeah. But starting with thinking about your mind.
Yeah.
How has your mind changed in the last 6 months? Like, what have you found about yourself mentally? What are some of the lessons that you've learned grappling with this year, 2024, from January to July?
That's really good. So I think for me, the first one has been the power of gratitude. Yeah. Especially to have an optimized, not just an optimized, that's you, but optimistic.
Not me taking the whole brand. You think of optimized, you think of me. There's a JPEG of my face.
Optimized by Renee. Hello. Sign up to Renee's mailing list. But yeah, I think having a optimistic mindset, I think for me, it's really been about like, okay, you're approaching life. Are you thinking, do you even have faith? Not even just from a spiritual perspective, but genuinely from a hopeful perspective as well. Do you have hope and faith that what you want to happen will happen? Have you allowed maybe the failures of the past or the disappointment of yesterday even to make it practical? Like you've gone through a hard day or something didn't come through the way you want it to or perform the way you wanted it to. Have you allowed that to shroud your outlook on today, right? And having this mindset that is today is a new day, and so I can walk in something new. And I think it's been a huge part of my faith journey, but also a huge change in my mindset, trying to be more optimistic, especially as somebody who has dealt a lot with anxiety. A lot of it is kind of meditating on the things that haven't happened yet, but thinking about them through such a negative and pessimistic lens that like, this is what could go wrong. This is what could go wrong. This is what could go wrong. And it's like, okay, but what if you thought about what could go right? What if you thought about, really meditating on the things that could be beneficial from this situation, or the fact that your mindset and your attitude and approach to this situation is actually going to determine how it goes. So if you approach it with fear, if you approach it with anxiety, if you approach it with dread, it's probably going to be a negative experience. Even if it produces a positive outcome, it will probably be a negative experience. And so allowing my mind to kind of shift to this place of deep gratitude, this deep sense of just thankfulness for everything I get to go through.
Yep.
Desire to kind of focus on the positive that could come out of things, as well as just generally being optimistic, has allowed me to have better experiences.
That's really
right?
good.
And so I think that's been one of the like biggest ways that my mind has changed. Another thing I would say is taking things slower. So this whole like, I'd say for the last like 3 years, my whole like wellness journey has been focused on slowing down.
Yeah.
And I found that last year with the busyness of it all, like I think after our book came out, I felt like my life just ramped up. I got so many different opportunities, freelance wise, contracting wise, business wise, as well as like TMS wise, that I was suddenly busy again. And I kind of reset towards my old approach towards work, where I was going like 100 miles per hour. There was a lot of saying yes to things and not having too many boundaries that I respected for myself. And so it was just like 2024, how about we calm down?
Chill out.
How about we chillax a little bit? And that has been a really, really nice feeling, actually, because I think when you're moving so fast, it induces so much stress. And like that cortisol spike, somebody who already has a hormonal imbalance, there is no need for you to be triggering
all this up and down.
All of this, relax.
It's too
relax.
much.
It's not good for your health, you know? And it's conversations I recurringly have with Claude, actually, in our mentoring sessions, where he's like, you know, capitalism and your kind of mindset towards work will teach you that you need to go harder, get more, do more, and push yourself, like mentally and physically push yourself really, really hard, because that's the sign of discipline and commitment to your goals and stuff like that. But actually, that's all a lie. And you need to kind of change your way of thinking towards money and work, away from this kind of greedy mindset of having more, but actually genuinely pursuing the things that you want, right? That are unique to you, which are actually your goals. And I think that's been a huge mindset shift, because it's meant that I've realized that slowing down and being a bit kinder to my body isn't me being indisciplined.
That's good.
It's me being mindful about my wellness, mindful about not doing things in my own effort and in my own strength, but genuinely Mike Todd says this thing about the pace of grace. And walking at the pace of grace, like allowing myself to realize, okay, this is how much I've been graced for in this season on a spiritual tip. Like, this is how much I've been graced for. Let me not push past that, because that's when the destruction and the anxiety happens. And also it allows me to believe, again, back to that like more optimistic mindset, that as long as I give the best that I can, everything will work out the way that it needs to. And I think that kind of lends more to some of the things that I've learned spiritually. But that's what I would say mentally has definitely shifted in the first 6 months of the year.
I love that.
Yeah. How about yourself?
I love that. Especially around gratitude. Gratitude is just so important.
It's so important
in life, because we spend so much of our time focusing on everything else but the things that we actually have.
Facts.
I think for me, what came to mind in terms of like my mental capacity is realizing that I actually have to fight for my mind. Like, I have to fight. Deep. This isn't just you wake up and you allow anything that comes to you to determine what your mind is. You have to set your mind, which is why it's called a mindset. And however you set your mind determines how your life is then set. And realizing that I have to do this every single day. Like, I have to choose. And some days it's going to be easier, right? There's going to be good experiences that I have. There's going to be things that work for me. But then there's those days where things are bad. Awful. Like, you know those days that you wake up and everything in your life has just gone bad.
Facts.
Everything that, it's even raining outside. Mind you, guys, we're in the UK, so it's July and the weather has been doing up and down, and down. Just
absolutely pants.
Genuinely awful. It will be raining. You'll like miss appointments. You'll have to run for a bus. You miss it. Like, the small things will go wrong. And then the big things will also go wrong. You'll have a fight with somebody, or just everything that could go wrong goes wrong. But the only thing that you have real control over is how you perceive the situation. What is your mindset saying when it is confronted with so many things around you that are going bad? It reminds me of the half full, half empty comparison. Are you going to choose to see your life as half empty, or are you going to choose to see your life as half full? And the first 6 months has really taught me that we have the choice to decide how we experience our reality. And that's so important.
Good.
And I love what you were saying around like obviously positive and like negative experiences and being more optimistic. Choosing to be optimistic is so necessary, especially when a lot of the narratives that we have, especially as women, or a lot of the messaging that we have is making the best of a situation or like trying to, you know, overcome and just the challenges that we have to experience time and time again. But what if we actually decided to see our life as positive? What if we decided that I'm going to wake up and irrespective of what happens, I'm going to choose to see the silver lining? Absolutely. What happens when we completely reframe everything to something that's a bit more positive or something that's a little bit more in line with our values as people? So I've really realized and sat with the fact that to have a positive mindset and to have a good character, there will be contention. Absolutely. And in fact, the moment that you make the decision to be a woman of character, the moment that you decide I am going to see the world positively is the moment that the warfare even intensifies.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, tomorrow you can say, I'm going to be a positive person. The moment you declare that, everything in the world will go wrong.
Yeah, because that's how the characters form.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even like dealing with that and processing that, it's not the seasons that things are easy that it requires you to have character.
Yeah.
It's often the seasons when things are going wrong and the seasons where you are really tested that character is birthed in you. So for me, definitely like realizing that mindset is something that I have to wake up and contend for pretty much every single day. And realizing that that's also hard is really challenging. And there will be some days where I lose the fight.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter if I lose the fight tomorrow, because guess what? The fight is going to begin again.
It's a new day.
It's literally like being in one of those gameplays.
Yeah, another round.
And the thing is, even if you're defeated at that level, you will now come back to the game again and you'll still be at that level. You have to fight again.
Yeah.
So you actually need to contend for your happiness, contend for your well-being, contend for your mindset, because also you deserve to live a life that is framed with positivity and framed with happiness and joy, as opposed to framed by fear or framed by disappointments or framed by trauma. It's really about switching lenses and allowing yourself to see the silver lining in what ostensibly can be a very miserable life.
Absolutely.
So that was like one of the big lessons that I learned about mindset. I think also I learned the limitations of my mind as well. As much as the mind can be such a powerful thing, the limitations of my mind is I've learned and really continue to learn is that I am very, very susceptible to being influenced and I need to protect my mind from that. And the importance of protecting my mind from that, because there are so many influences in society today, constantly, like from things like, I love me a good Netflix, I love me a good series, but the subliminal messaging that you get in that, constantly being bombarded with news articles about the terrible things that are going on in society, or even just conversations with people who don't necessarily have my best interests at heart, realizing that I actually need to protect my mind. Because if my mind is something that is controlling my well-being, my happiness, my joy, my life, that means that is the biggest thing that I have to protect when I'm going out into the world. And that's often how the world gets us, is through the mind. So if the mind is the first battle, not only are you fighting against yourself, but now you have to fight against everything else and everyone else that is fighting to control your mind.
Absolutely.
That definitely sounds like one major conspiracy theory, but
no, I think it's true. I think that's the way we're wired, right? We learn to navigate the world through the things that we see and we're told. And a huge part of that is media. A huge part of that is the imagery, the stories we're told, the things that we are privy to. Right. And so you have to we always say this thing, right? Like, you'll produce what you consume. Right. That's all that will come out of you. So everything that you consume is a seed and it will ultimately bear fruit in your life. Like, you can't tell me that all you do is watch negativity or watch doom and gloom or watch, sex scandal and shame,
bro,
and that's not what you're going to do with your life or in your life, or produce with your life. So no, I don't think it's a conspiracy at all. I think it's a principle.
It's a principle. It's a principle. But yeah, just even and really being very detail oriented with that as well. Like, I love the fact that you mentioned even the things that you watch. There are certain like series or even music. Guys, and I'm not trying to be that person that's like holier than thou in any capacity. I'm just admitting that I have a weakness. There we go. Boy, I will listen to some music you know, some saucy
Yeah.
music, and then I'm shocked at why I'm feeling some type of way.
Renee Kapuku. The way that thing shocked me this week.
Lord.
So, if you know me, I like to dibble dabble in a little bit of R&B, rhythm and blues.
Child.
I like me some good music,
Top music.
especially from that late 90s to early 2000s
Listen.
era. This week, after Courtney has been on a journey of Courtney knows secular music, you know how you get, as someone who loves music, I listened to just a few pieces of art.
Arts, they call it.
Which were, I wouldn't say unholy, unwise.
Unwise, yeah.
Yeah, unwise. And I went to bed that night. Now, it did not help that one, I was tired. I was very tired from a day. And suddenly some thoughts entered my mind to do some things which I've broken free from a long time ago. And I said, it's not me that's going to open a door that's been bolted shut.
Hell no.
That music has to go.
Hell
and
no.
I love that you admitted that, because I think when people hear that certain people have boundaries around their life, they think, you may think that you are superior or you have some kind of superior. No. I know I am inferior.
I'm weak.
I am weak.
I'm weaker than you. Trust me.
If I give this thing room, it will defeat me. And I think it's that awareness of weakness and admission of weakness to yourself.
Boy.
So I really love that point, actually. And I think it helps people because it's not about, I'm doing this because it's so great. I'm doing this because I know my weakness. That's
Some
good.
of you can listen to R&B and you can be listening to all that music.
Fine.
Listen, R&B, for me, also Bashment, I cannot listen to that music. That
The
dance,
fact
I
that
love you
Bashment
guys.
is like one of your top genres actually is so funny to me because it feels so off-brand. Bashment is great. Like I'm not dissing the genre, but it's just very strange to know that through your beats, that's what you have playing. When I look at you.
Imagine me just studying straight jeans.
Do you get what I mean? You look so serious. Like,
what were you doing? What were you doing?
It's true, and it really gets you.
It really does get you,
I
man.
love
And then
that
all of a
point.
sudden you're like, wow, me too, I can wear my straight jeans, the fitted ones,
With a white t-shirt.
with a white t-shirt. But we won't do it. And then you'll find yourself, you're there, ready to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, just protecting my mind, especially in my areas of weakness,
So good.
and being comfortable and confident enough in my relationship with God to admit not my strengths but my weaknesses.
Great.
Hey, I'm weak, boy. If there's one thing I've learned this in the last 6 months, Courtney, I'm weak. There's certain things I thought I could do. Me, I can't do it.
Can't do it. And that's a great posture to be in. And I think that's the posture that welcomes in wisdom and grace.
Truly, grace. Heavy on the grace, man.
Facts.
But I guess that's the area of the mind. It's really giving X-Men. But moving on to the corporeal, the physical, thinking about your body. What have you learnt about your body, your physicality, the way you navigate the world as a woman?
Yeah.
What have you learnt in the last 6 months, and what wisdom are you applying in the next 6 months as well to
that's
honor
good.
thy body?
Well, the biggest lesson in the last 6 months, we aged.
Yeah.
We turned a new age. You know, your girl turned the big 27.
Jeez, let's go.
And what I have learned is I'm no longer a youth. It takes a lot of time for my body to actually recover. Not a lot of time where it's like geriatric. It's not giving that, but it's a lot of time as in like when I was younger, to get home and be asleep by 3 a.m. I'd be chirpy, jump up.
Boy.
8 a.m., 7 a.m. we could get to work. 4 hours of sleep, no issue. 4 hours of sleep now is a suicide attempt. That is me giving up on life.
That's truly.
Do you get what I mean? So it's just like, no, you need a full night's sleep or you're gonna feel that tomorrow. Do you get what I mean? Or like being out all night and doing the whole party stuff, your body can't.
No.
And I know a lot of people equate those kind of things with youth, but I think it's been embracing that seasons come and seasons go.
Yep.
And now also allowing my body to have that recovery and also, I guess, like using my body and taking care of my body so that this aging process. I know I'm just 27, I'm not old, but like this
aging
process, because your body changes as a woman, right? Your body will change. And so just making sure that this aging process is made easier by preparing now for the fact that I know certain things like my metabolism will slow down, my muscle repair will be slower, like all of these things. I think just having an awareness and that initial realization that, oh, like my body's getting older, which means that cell regeneration is slower. That's fine. But let me work with that. Yeah. Let me actually work with that flow of things by sleeping better and making sure my sleep hygiene is better and being more disciplined with certain things like my diet and taking my collagen and my cod liver oil and all these other like supplements that I need to take. Let me make sure that I am really protective about like my work boundaries so that I'm not overworking, stuff like that. Just kind of going with the flow of my body in this stage of life. So that's one of the biggest things that I've learned about myself physically. I've also learned on a more positive note that my body is capable of doing things that I probably underestimated it on. So like, I've been doing this whole like steps thing throughout the whole year, and I started off the year really strong, had a bit of a dip, and now we're back.
Then we get back up.
Then we get back up. But it's just like, wow, simple movement of just walking, just getting my steps in have made me feel really good. And I've just been proud of myself for keeping up that like goal that I set for myself. So I've really enjoyed that kind of physical element of things, but I've definitely learned like your body needs time to recover, so you have to be very careful about the way you treat it. Treat it a lot better and more intentionally. I think you know these things in your head, but as you get older, they have to become implemented. They need to become manifested, because if not, you'll get to 45, 50 and your back is hurting you. So we're still on that journey. But I think learning the body, accepting the body's changes has been the biggest thing for me. Yeah. How about yourself?
I love that. And congrats on the steps. The consistency, chef kiss.
Now we need to get the diet patterned and we'll be on our way.
Ain't that always the challenge though? Do you know what? That's one thing. This is like a mini realization for me. Me like food.
Oh.
Me,
I've always
I like, bro. But it's like, I like it a little bit. I don't know.
I think they call it gluttony.
Boy, so you remember a while ago we did that whole like circle DNA thing?
Yes. Where
it's basically this test where you can find out like what are you genetically predisposed to and all that kind of stuff. And I am genetically predisposed when I'm stressed to like comfort eat. Boy, oh boy, I like food. I've always liked food as a kid, guys. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's why, I was a chunky R back in the day. But I was still a cutie and I still am. Learning my body and learning my triggers, but also listening to my triggers has been a big thing for me. Like I've been on a health journey of not pushing myself, but actually on a journey of when my body sends an indicator, I listen. So there have been some times that I've frustratingly I'm like, oh, I want to go out, I want to do this, I want to get my steps in, I want to get this, I want to go to the gym, and my body's like,
we can't do that.
I have come to tell you kindly, cease and desist.
Yeah.
Because if you don't cease and desist, unfortunately, we will have to use serious force.
Yeah.
And you don't want that.
You don't want that.
So actually listening to the signals of my body and realizing just how intelligent of a system that I have as a woman has been night and day. Like literally, and not just as it pertains to kind of physical exercise, but also my actual daily interactions. Yeah. So we went on that YouTube creators women's wellness retreat, which was fantastic, phenomenal. And Dr. Simi, in love with you, by the way. Oh my God, great stuff.
Babe.
She really hammered home the importance of listening to your body when you're on your menstrual cycle. Yeah. And I've actually
that
taken...
was my question that I asked her. Well, that's
so
what my
Courtney's,
name popped up on the screen. Me?
Courtney's name popped up on the screen. And you know what? They also picked both of our...
They did.
So we popped up back to back. I was like, to my sister's takeover. The smart questions. Asking the right questions for women. So we had our... If you want us to host things, you should book us. hello@twomysisters.com. We'll say great. Say hello to us. We'll say hello to you, baby. So yeah, Courtney asked the brilliant question of how do we basically like take care of ourselves by respecting our cycles and the signals that our cycle sends. And I realized that for me, when I am on my luteal phase, which is the week or two before my period, I'm not in the mood. I'm actually not in the mood. There are hormonal imbalances.
Yeah.
My progesterone is high.
Yeah.
My tolerance is low.
Come on.
Therefore, I'm not scheduling too many meetings or too many catch-ups with people. You know, like there are some people in this life, love you, but it takes a lot of social battery and energy to be with them.
To interact, yeah.
And then there's some people you're just in their presence, you're saying nothing and you're good.
Yeah.
So all the folks that I interact with, I say nothing. Just being in your presence. Not a single, I don't want to hear pim. Those are the people that I'll be interacting with more during my luteal phase. Philip, I'll be booking meetings.
Outside.
Brunch, yes, baby. But also even thinking about like how I schedule my calendar now. Like my catch-ups tend to be in the first half of my menstrual cycle versus the second, which has been so fantastic because it means I can show up for people. I actually have energy and I'm respecting my body's demand for rest. As for period, I'm completely missing during that time. Don't be looking for me. Like
those 5 days or so. Outside.
I'm not interested.
Goodbye, world.
Goodbye, world.
I stay no longer with you.
I ain't got nothing for you. Nothing.
Yeah.
So actually realizing the fact that as a woman, my body will send me these signals and I can choose whether to listen or not.
Yes.
However, it's within my best interests to listen.
Absolutely.
And that I'm well within my right to rest when my body wants to rest. It's not every day pushing through the pain.
Yeah.
So you know what? Sometimes you're actually not meant to. When you have the indicator that your body is in pain, your body is telling you, babes, we need some time to recover.
Yeah.
And the best conditions for your body to recover is when you're resting.
Yeah.
So pushing through the pain, yes, I get sometimes it's necessary to push through the pain.
Yeah.
But if there's one big thing that I've learned about my body in the last 6 months, is that as a woman, sometimes you don't need to push through the pain. You just need to rest and recover.
Absolutely.
That's okay.
Absolutely.
Rest and recover. And don't let anybody shame you for that too.
I was literally going to say this because I think a lot of it is the scientific narratives that this is such an inconvenience, and also is social narratives, right? Like period pain, pre-period, you know, PMS, all of that stuff. It's such a huge inconvenience to women, such a huge inconvenience to productivity. So there's this temptation to just override that, push through that, as you were saying. When actually, when we have an appreciation for the fact that the female body and the human body in general is such an intricate system that your body will actually tell you
100%.
This is what we can do and this is what we can't do. And it's actually in your best interest to listen and not just try to hack your way through it, because it's like I said, it's an intricate system. Like, I'm letting you know, I've run a diagnostic. This is not the phase to be doing all of this stuff. We don't have the battery. It's okay. You will in 2 weeks, but now you don't. And it's okay to listen to that. And it's okay to respect the body in that way. But I think you have to see your body as, you have to appreciate that system, essentially. You can't see that little issue as an issue. It's just a part of the system.
No, for sure. And then I think last like mini thing I learned about my body is that you can teach an old dog new tricks. So I'm not a runner, but recently
the girl's been running.
And not just because of the run clubs. I'm actually not part of like a run club. I don't know if you've been seeing on Instagram. Everybody's like, join this run club. I know you're there to lust. You're there to lust over the good looking men that are running. Okay.
But them good looking men be running.
They do. You know what?
They be jogging.
I be seeing some of these run clubs. I said, well, goddamn, shiver me timbers, call me a runner.
Go get my Nikes. We can run together.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let me go get my gel. You know? Those things taste disgusting, by the way. They are so... Courtney, there was one time I was running and like I was literally dying. It was like a long run. I was really tired and I sometimes have like a gel to have midway. I had not tried the gel before. That was my faux pas. I had not tried the gel before the actual run. I opened it. I put it in my mouth. Oh, the way I spat that thing out, it was so disgusting. So I was like, you guys could have put some sugar in this. Like, you said, oh yeah, carbs. That was straight carbohydrates. They must have taken it straight from somebody's. Just carbs, no glucose. No
Carbs,
glute.
no glute.
No glute. That was nasty.
Yeah.
So I learned that my body can do new things.
Yeah, I love
and it
that.
gave me so much confidence in myself, because when I first started running, boy, I was so uncoordinated. I was so like my VO2 max, all the terms that they use for running, I was just bad.
Yeah.
And I won't say that I'm great at running, but seeing the improvements.
Yeah, you've
especially
run a whole 5K, Hackney 5K medal girl.
I'm a medal girl.
Come
10K soon
on.
come.
Come on, hybrid athlete.
We're stopping at, there will be no marathon here. I'm just,
I think you say that now, but I actually think you'll do it.
you know what? If I do it,
Yeah.
I might just be going for a midlife crisis. But that's also okay.
I think you'll do it.
Oh,
I definitely think you'll do it. Well,
I will
mark my
cry.
words.
I will cry the whole way through. I will cry the whole way
I
through.
hear that. No, I think you'll do it. But you've been doing so well. Like
Thanks, friend.
from when you said that you were going to start running to then running the Hackney 5K, you've done a good job, girl.
I'm still out here.
Really
child.
good job. And you stay consistent, which is, Renee.
That is, you know what? One thing Renee is, for better for worse, she gonna be consistent. But I guess that is body. Moving on to something a little bit, I wouldn't say more profound, but can be profound. Your soul.
The soul.
The condition of your soul.
That's good.
The condition of your innards.
Yeah.
How are we, Courtney? And what have you learned? What are we moving forward with? Where are we?
Yeah, you know what? This has been such a great time for like my spiritual walk and journey. I would definitely say I was having a very hard time at the beginning of the year-ish, which, like I was going through a lot of, I guess, just emotional pain, like heartbreak, and just realizing so many things. I felt like old traumas had been resurfaced by recent experiences, and it really led me down a really dark path of just feeling like, I felt like I was doing all of this personal development and growth work for the last like 5-6 years of my life, and now I've really arrived at a place where I feel as broken as when I first became a Christian, or like when I was at the peak of my depression and feeling suicidal and stuff. And it was a really, really dark and hard time. Like I was just not myself, if that makes sense. And it was hard. And I think it took me time to, it required me to take a step back and just be like, okay, what is actually going on here? And it's okay for your healing to happen in phases. And it may be that as life has progressed, and my life now looks very different to how my life looked like 3 years ago. And it's like, it may be that now that life is different and there are different demands on you, different positive and negative experiences, it's revealing, and I wrote an Instagram caption about this, but it's revealing a new dimension of fear and a new dimension of pain. And that's okay. Like it's actually okay to experience sadness, and it's actually okay to have these things unveil something that may be happening deeper, because that's what invites the growth. Like you have to, it's like what you were saying about identifying your weakness. When you do identify a weak spot or a crack or a break in your soul or in your spirit, it's a great opportunity to let God work. And I've just been trying to now let God work. Like, okay, cool, what does healing actually mean? What does nurturing my relationship with myself, like healing my relationship with other people look like? I went back to therapy recently, and it's just been like, I'm really proud of myself that when I saw my soul was fractured to some degree, I didn't just say it will heal over time. I actually went in and used some tools to be like, no, let's put a cast on it. Let's actually make sure it will heal properly, right? And so I think my soul journey right now is healing, like really, really healing. I'm in my healing era. Learning more about God as Father in particular. I have a very like military mindset, so it's very much like commander, chief, lord, direction, strategy, purpose, all of these things. And I've been learning that like God is actually a father who cares about me. God's voice towards me is actually very nurturing in this season as well, kind of allowing the Holy Spirit to walk with me. And I've been embracing that, like, it's okay to try again. It's okay to fall down and get back up. It's okay to be progressing and be a work in progress. You don't have to be the final product. You can actually be a work in progress. And it's just been experiencing grace and really thinking about like the goodness and the mercy and the kindness that God has been showing to me actually, and allowing that to channel through me for other people, but also allowing myself to receive it as well. I think another thing that I've realized about my soul is similar to what you were saying about your mind, but about what you feed it is what it will produce. And I think I've been trying to really encourage myself, like really stay not just mentally being optimistic, but in my spirit genuinely being like, if God said it, he'll do it. And I might not have seen it now, but I might see it later, and that's okay. But I'm going to allow myself to have faith and have hope for certain things. And even through suffering, I'm going to have faith that God can hold me through the suffering. He can hold me through the pain, and I'll come out on the other side of it better, whether that side is in this life or in the next one, in eternity, in heaven, then that's okay. But I will come out on the other side better. And I think for my soul, that has been a really uplifting mindset and revelation to have, because it's like, okay, you may be crying now, you may be sad now, you may feel like you're at a loss now, or you may feel like you're heartbroken now, but it's okay. You'll actually push through, and on the other side of things, you'll have a renewed heart, and it will be perfect, and there won't be any pain to that. So yeah, it's been a growing season for real. And the last thing I will say is that on the whole glowing and growing front, like, God's really been helping me to just understand it more, and the fact that like this glowing side of things is not just about the outward appearance, but it's actually about having a spirit that is light and allowing people to be drawn to your light, but also preserving the integrity of your light as well.
That's good.
I think for me and for us, with what we do and the fact that people get to see us and are drawn to our wisdom or our positivity or whatever our impact that we're having in society, there's this understanding that, oh, you are a light, like you are something that people are drawn to. You are someone that carries something that gives people hope and clarity. And I think I've been realizing that requires you to be very protective about the integrity of it, as well as making sure that your light doesn't dim. And I think the things that dim light is the insecurity, the comparison, the pessimism, the unrighteousness, or doing things against other people, and just not living in a way that is integral to the character you really want to have. And so I think I've been learning about my soul that you are such a bright light, and the power that you carry is that when your light is dark, other people see it, other people feel it, like other people are affected by your light being slightly dimmed. And so it's not just about living for other people, but also being mindful about the fact that you are connected to other people, and other people are connected to you for better and for worse. And so just allowing myself to really polish myself a little bit on the inside and be like, no, I should approach this situation with enthusiasm, because it allows other people to feel enthusiastic. I should approach this situation with being jovial. I should approach the situation being, encouraging to others, because it allows other people to encourage me, and it just, my approach to life affects other people. And so allowing that to be a consciousness about the light that I carry. But yeah, that's what I would say.
Beautiful.
That's been the soul journey.
The soul journey. Yeah. Nah, I ain't gonna lie to you, Courtney. It's been tough out on these streets. It's been tough out on these streets. I think one of my aims or goals for this year was definitely, I want to grow, I want to become better, I want to become sharpened. But sometimes that process really is a sanding down, and I feel like this has been a time where God has really been sanding me down and also dismantling a couple of things. And sometimes it can be tough when you're not expecting to be dismantled. You kind of think, oh, I've got a handle on these kind of things, so it's more of a stacking on top of. But in order for something to continue to grow well, sometimes you have to remove as well as add on top. And I was anticipating God to add on top, but he was also taking away and also removing. And for me, it was really like dealing with heart issues and like thinking about, okay, where were some hidden idols or the reappearance of some idols that were coming up in my heart, and how I was holding steadfast to some things, whether it be like my roles or like things or places that I needed to show up for, and I was showing up in my own strength. And it really just felt like God was doing the work of, you can't show up in your own strength anymore, baby. If you want to grow to the top of the top, you got to get to know the guy on top of the top at this level. So really doing a work of confronting myself and confronting the areas in my heart that had been hidden so deeply. Because we often have that whole narrative of like, oh, you know, good, sometimes good is not God. And there were so many good things that I would be able to point to myself to, but were they really God things? Nah, man. Even something as simple as, you know, wanting to be somebody that is a giver or somebody that is there for other people without expecting something in return. I think sometimes we even hold on to this cosmic idea that, you know, we're going to get something at some point. It doesn't have to be from that person, but I'm just paving it forward. But is that truly God? It's good, but it's not really God. And we should be able to be kind without any kind of desire or expectation for something in return. So even dealing with something as deep and as seemingly just completely fine as that have been really, really tough for me. So that's definitely an area, just a sanding down and just we need to get rid of this, and this about you in order for you to continue to go up.
That's so deep.
And it's actually been really refreshing. And it's also taken the pressure off, because it means that obviously there is a work that is going on in me, but I'm not obviously the author of that work, right? So listen, this whole God use me as a vessel, sometimes you got to bend the vessel a little bit, you got to do some work with the vessel, clean it out, clean the pipes, you know, them pipes be dirty. And like one thing about a clogged up pipe, for you to be able to really use it in totality, it needs to be clean all the way through. Good. And like when we think of like, we've had clogged drains, how irritating those clogged drains are. Even when you turn the tap on of a clogged drain, the water will come out, but it's still first of all, it's not giving you just water, it's also giving you dirt or whatever was clogged in there. It's not pure. You are there. Impure water is now running through those drains and through those taps, and it really has been a time of God even removing if there's any impurities, if there's any areas, and the loudness of those impurities. It feels like somebody turned on the volume. And it's the small stuff. I mentioned this obviously when we were talking about like the mind and like things that I'm listening to and things that I'm consuming. But even as you were saying, like spiritually, it feels like it's been so loud recently. And I think it's exactly what you said, right? Knowing that there is this call to greater, this call to higher, knowing that we've been tasked with a purpose of loving God and loving his people. And I think even that, understanding that that's actually my purpose.
That's it.
We often get this asked again and again, and there's a whole bunch of people that often ask periodically, how do I find my purpose? It's pretty simple. Love God and love his people. And that's it.
That's it.
However that is expressed, that is manifest, yes, you can, with all prayer and supplication, ask for God's wisdom to reveal that to you. But the amount of pressure, delay, and distraction pursuing purpose can cause is ridiculous. And I must admit, I definitely am. And I was that person where I'm like, God, what is my purpose? How do I show off that, you know, you're working in me? And God is like, listen, just listen to my voice. It's in my word. I ain't got nothing else for you, Renee.
That's it.
Do the basics.
That's it.
And how oftentimes, not just mentally, but spiritually, we do too much. It's so basic and simple. The simple things. So really contending with and understanding the simple principles of maintaining a good soul, of actually loving God, and by extension of loving God, loving his people, and really also coming to grips with when it says in the Bible that God is love. That's it. Really having a revelation of God's love. And I feel like every single year I come to a new understanding of, not necessarily new level, because sometimes it's not necessarily progressive as in going up, but more expansive as in filling. I feel like understanding the expansive love of God has really helped me to increase my love of people, because it's only somebody that knows abundance that would be able to give abundance. And I can always tell when either somebody else or even myself is operating from a place of scarcity. It means, I haven't drunk from this well today, or like, I haven't even spent time, you know, with God. And it's become so, again, loud to me. It's like, I know straight off the bat, if I'm having a bad day and I'm acting up, it's because I haven't spent enough time in my word. I haven't spent enough time in prayer. I haven't spent enough time meditating that I'm loved. That I shouldn't be acting out, or I shouldn't, not even necessarily I shouldn't be, but I don't need to stay in that place because there's a place where all of that is taken away. So really resting in the fact that I'm loved. I am loved. There is nothing that can shake my confidence. There is nothing that can enable me to stay in the place of insecurity because I'm operating from a place of security. And that has been so freeing. Like
So
the liberation
good.
that I've had, especially in the last couple months or so,
Mm-hmm.
I am loved. So even when I go on like social media and I'm like, oh, like I didn't get the likes that I wanted, or like I share something with my friend and they don't give me the validation that I was seeking, it's understanding that, okay, these are cool, cute and whatever, but have I gotten the validation from the person that really matters?
Come on.
Or even when you do get the validation from people that you were seeking, realizing that these things are not enough anyways.
Facts.
And you're going to just find yourself in the cycle of seeking validation from something that is neither secure nor certain.
Yeah.
But we already have that. So yeah, my soul,
So deep.
the condition of my soul right now, we're still a work in progress.
Aren't we always?
And I love that you said that, right? That acknowledgement that we are work in progress. We don't have to be a finished product. And it's often trauma that tells us we have to be a finished product.
Absolutely.
It's often a trauma response that tells us that we have to be this person for everybody else, or we have to, make sure that we are finished because so many people are depending on us. And lastly, realizing that that's also not just a trauma response, but also pride.
Absolutely.
Pride. I was looking at something, something called I think it's the messianic complex, where we think that somebody's salvation or our capacity to save somebody is contingent on ourselves. Listen, you guys are listening to TMS. It's not us that will save you.
Absolutely.
It's not us that will save you.
You think you can be saved by a podcast?
Listen, you think you can be saved by your pastor, your friend, by this money, but we look to things and people and think we can be saved by this.
Absolutely.
But there's a reason we call God Savior. That is the Savior. Or we look to, not even we look to, we've gotten into a place in society where we now believe that we can be the Savior. And it's crept into our churches. It's crept into our, even capitalism, right? Thinking that because we have money, we can save ourselves or lift ourselves out of the throes of poverty, which is all well and good. Like I'm not saying that anybody should be in poverty, but we don't realize how much we sometimes make ourselves our own gods.
Absolutely.
And the way that God has really been doing a number of, I'm Savior here. I may be using you as a tool, but I'm Savior here.
Yeah.
So even if you fail or you're putting so much unnecessary pressure on yourself, the God that saved you is the God that can save your sister, your brother. The God that saved you is the God that can save your followers. The God that saved you, the world. Literally, done and dusted, baby.
And all you have to do is give him room. All you have to do is give him access. And I think I love that you emphasize on that, because funnily enough, my Bible study this morning was on Luke 6 and it talks just about that, like about how, love, don't judge, don't condemn, forgive, like these core foundations of the Christian faith, which are all around like, when you meditate on how much God has given you, how kind he's been to you, how merciful he's been to you, despite all the bad things that you've done. And even in the face of the good things you've done, the fact that there's still more room for you to progress and God still loves you perfectly. When you meditate on that, how can your response not be to extend that mercy to imperfect people? Right. And it's talking about like, when you give, don't expect to receive, but it goes on to talk about how it's God, your Father, who sees you and will reward you. So it's not even just about, I don't expect to reward. It's don't expect to reward from them. Right. Know that I will reward you, and I'll reward you in the way that I see fit and I know is best. And so that reward may not be monetary. If you give a monetary, it could just be a sense of peace. It could just be in whatever heaven looks like. Do you get what I mean? And being content with the fact that the Father knows best. And I love that you touched on pride, because a lot of what Luke 6 kind of addresses is hypocrisy and the fact that people take so much pride in the appearance of what they do, so much pride in their performance, so much pride in their superiority and their position in society, when all of these things are actually temporary. And when you put so much hope in the temporary, you're going to be so disappointed, number one. But the disappointment sometimes doesn't come until eternity begins, right? And that's where a lot of people get caught out. And I think for us, it's been an acceptance of, wow, the earth is really temporary. Like, as much as, or our experience here on earth is temporary, as much as you may be, really ambitious and people applaud you and give you accolades and stuff, I feel like there's been this deep resonance of the fact that all of this stuff is temporary. All of this stuff is superficial. And if you allow this to be, the cornerstone of your identity, you're going to become what Luke 6 describes as like whitewashed tombs. Like, you whitewashed. On the outside, you're looking fantastic, but inside are dead bones. Dead men's bones. And it's that idea that actually the inside is what matters more. And if I spend time allowing God to clean out the inside, like really give me a pure heart, really give me a pure outlook on life, help me to love people genuinely, that's actually what is credibility. And the reason why I use that word is it talks about how it will be credited to you. That's how you get credit. It's not about how many likes you get. It's not about how big your company is or how much you're walking in purpose, how many people you healed. Credit is ascribed to people who forgive, who love, who are kind, who are merciful. If you're really trying to gain points with God, you've got to do these hard things. It's not about my gaining. It's actually more about my loss and my suffering, and allowing myself to go through that process, trusting God, because that's actually faith. You know, if you do something wrong to me and the Bible talks about turn the other cheek, I have to be able to trust that God is the one who ultimately is going to fight for me.
Right.
If he tells me not to hit you back. Do you get what I mean? And it's like, that's actually the challenge of things, not taking power into your own hands, not believing that I deserve better than this person. I deserve to be better than okay, Jesus deserved better. And what did y'all do to him?
You killed him.
There we go.
Put him up on the cross.
Or when you think about all the good things that you've received in your life deserved a better outlook than what you did yesterday, you know? Or this person who's done you right, they deserved a better response than what you gave them yesterday. Yeah. If we all got what we deserved, life would be imbalanced, but life is not imbalanced. Life is chaotic. And that's why we need God's principles to kind of bring this order to things. So yeah, I love that you touched on that. And I think it's a deep, deep, deep realization, which can be hard to swallow. So hard. Very hard to swallow, because you realize all the things that people see and applaud and love, and all this shiny object syndrome and all of that, it means nothing. And it's the deep work, the deep selfless work that actually makes a woman great, you know?
On that note, sisters.
Yeah, keep glowing and growing indeed.
Bye. Have a great...
keep glowing and growing indeed. It's a hard journey, but we're in this together.
That's it.
Sisters, we're doing this together. And it's really nice also to like get to do life with you and talk about these things. Because I think some people don't have... Love that. Some people don't reciprocity. People don't have that, where you can talk about these deep things with people. So yeah, we hope that this podcast has been a blessing, but also that you find that in your life, because these development, points can be really tough. Yeah. Like it can really crush your spirit to realize there's more work to do, or you're navigating through healing. And so it's best to do that truly in community. Yes, we tout about it all the time, but it's genuinely because seasons like this can make you lose your mind. Realizations like this can make you so depressed.
Truly.
You need people around you to be like, no, we can't afford for you to be down bad.
No, guys, we didn't have time to talk about this too tough on this episode, but relationships, when I say relationships are so key to your development, and they're often the thing that people have the most regrets about at the end of their life. Relationships, likewise, girl. I remember when I would have lost my mind. There were some times if Courtney was there, I'm telling you guys, I would have lost my damn mind.
Oh, we thank God.
So we are praying not just into your mind, body, soul, but also into your relationships. We pray that this next 6 months, irrespective of what the last 6 months look like, we really pray that the next 6 months will be of completion. That whatever good work that you started at the beginning of this year will ride through into a place of completion, and good completion, where you feel like you've worked, but also you feel like you have rested, because rest is also a commandment, guys. You need to honor rest. It's important. But sisters, if you are looking for a community, if you're new to this sisterhood and you want to stay plugged into everything TMS, make sure you follow us on all of our social platforms at To My Sisterhood, literally everywhere. Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, just everywhere. We're everywhere. We're taking over. This is a movement, people. And of course, my lovely Destiny bestie on the left of me that is looking absolutely fantastic, giving us naturalista, giving us...
I can't believe how much my afro has
grown so much. What? I said, oh my God, inches. What's the tea? You better start selling your castor oil or rosemary oil or whatever oil you're using. You might not even be... It might just be jeans. We don't...
That's that Ghanaian blood.
That's that Ghanaian blood. You guys have really nice hair, I must
Thank
say.
you,
I
thank
really
you.
must say. Yeah, if she comes out with a hair growth oil, you guys, you didn't hear this. It wasn't genetic. It was. It was the oil, okay? And it will be called like Miracle CBD, something like that. You know, it's always those kind of names. But of course, please follow her on everything at CD Boateng. And of course, come and follow me over at Renee Kafuki.
We absolutely love to see it. And of course, you can sign up to the mailing list for weekly glowing and growing tips. These conversations can evolve right into your inbox. So sign up on our website, tomysisters.com. Yeah.
Well.
Bye.
Keep glowing and growing.